Welcome everyone guys, and welcome to another video for Italian for Americans. I'm Alberto, Italiano Automatico founder. I've been helping people learn Italian since 2012. My goal now is for you guys from the US to understand exactly what you need to do to finally learn Italian and reach whatever level you desire in this beautiful language that you guys love. Today's topic is why it's much better to learn Italian grammar subconsciously. And what do I mean by that? The worldwide problem with language learning is that students finish school after years of learning Spanish or German or Italian or French, whatever language. They come out of school after 5, 3, 10 years. And what do they say? They say, I've studied Italian or German, Spanish or French in high school or at university, but I can't really speak and I don't really know the language. Or even worse, there are students that are now learning Italian saying after 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, they studied it in the past. When they try to speak, they are like stuck thinking about translating words in their head, translating sentences, trying to make the English sentence becoming the Italian sentence, and thinking about the subjunctives, the articles, all these grammar related things, how to conjugate a verb, talking in the past, thinking about how do I create the verb in the past, and they're stuck in this rut that is not basically helping them achieving their dream, which is speaking Italian without consciously thinking about Italian, but thinking about what they want to say. And this problem is very common. Why? Because through the traditional system we are taught to learn grammar consciously. What does it mean? Teachers, professors used to give us books to study grammar rules, and they say, okay, take this book, learn, memorize these rules, these grammar rules, and then you should be able to speak Italian properly with the proper grammar. But if you really think about it, think about how did you learn your first language? How did you learn English? Were you consciously studying grammar rules to learn English? Or when you went to school, the first day of school, when you discovered about the existence of grammar, were you already able to speak English properly or not? Of course, yes. You could already speak your native language properly. You could understand your parents, the TV, and you could communicate, say whatever you wanted in English. And you were doing that without consciously thinking about the grammar that you were using. Then in school, grammar came to help us improve our writing. We learned the alphabet and we learned to read. So we started reading, we started learning the grammar, okay? And that helped us improve our writing and the articulation of our speech, etc. But it wasn't the grammar study that did that. What actually improved your ability to speak English was the time that you spent with comprehensible English input. So the same thing you will need to apply to learn Italian, because the way you spoke English improved as long as you were spending time with English language and comprehensible English language. The way you will improve your Italian grammar and the way you speak Italian and your comprehension of the Italian language has to happen mostly subconsciously, because if you spend time directly with Italian language and your brain figures out the grammar through the language, what will happen is that when you will speak Italian, then you will not need to think about the Italian grammar rules. You will automatically reproduce the sentences, the sounds, the expressions that you heard in Italian. And your brain will be able to do that not because you studied grammar, but because you gave him feeding time. You gave him the Italian language. Our brain has an automatic capacity to recognize patterns in a language. Your brain will help you then form the sentences that you need to speak Italian. So the big difference from learning the grammar through memorization in books and learning grammar directly from the language is that when you will speak Italian, then if you learn it from the language, you will naturally, automatically speak with the right grammar, thinking about the message you want to deliver instead of thinking about how to deliver the message. Big difference. If you memorize the grammar rules and the structure of the verbs, etc., then when you will speak, you will stop and think about those things trying to build your message depending on those rules you learned. Instead of focusing on the message itself that you want to deliver, you will focus on how do I build my message. This was a huge difference for me learning English and the other languages I speak. Once I understood this, I thought, whoa, it was so liberating to understand that I can get to speak a language in an amazing way with an amazing grammar without actually spending months on grammar books and memorizing words and rules. But I can actually spend time directly with the language I love, with materials I enjoy, and with topics that make me happy in the learning process. You're gonna hear me talk about this many times in different forms, from different perspectives, because again, if you understand this core concept and you start to build your learning around this concept, it's gonna help you understand why you still can't speak properly, you're still stuck when you try to speak Italian, you still don't understand Italians or movies very well. It's because you lack the understanding of what to do, of exactly what to do. So remember this, the reason why it's best to learn grammar subconsciously is because you're gonna be able to, when you speak Italian, focus on the message instead of focusing on the how of the message. You're gonna focus directly on what you want to say and you will be able to say it like an Italian. Guys, remember to subscribe if you want to know more about how to approach learning Italian and culture and tips about Italy and stuff like that. In the meantime, I wish you a great week and I'll see you in the next video.